Paul Bartoletto opens the menu with an appetizer from Chicago. He demonstrates his considerable ability in Italian cookery with Tuscan mussel soup and white beans. Then from Houston, Scott Chen lights up the entree with a beef stir-fry. Notice his use of strips of ribeye steak coated in egg white, cornstarch, and cracker crumbs. Then from Naples, Florida, young pastry cook Rhonda Ruckman shows state-of-the-art flexipan molds, which are used to bake chocolate savarin, a rich French cake. Spiaggia is an upscale and pricey Italian restaurant in Chicago. In February '99, its 15th anniversary was celebrated with complete interior renovation. Under Chef Paul Bartoletto, however, the food has remained top-notch. It scored 11th in the '98 Gourmet Readers Poll, helped by dishes like Mussel Soup.
Okay, today we're going to make a very typical Tuscan specialty. It is called guazzetto di cozze e cannellini. The word guazzetto in Italian refers to anything that creates its own broth or its own puddle. Literally, the word guazzetto means puddle in Italian, but in a culinary sense, it's something that creates its own broth. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a broth that consists of some steamed mussels that are going to be steamed by sauteing a little garlic and chili or pepperoncino, together with some bay leaves, some olive oil, and a little bit of butter. We're going to cook that together. We're going to add some white wine to steam them open and cover them. Okay. So we're going to heat the pan up a little bit with a little bit of olive oil. In this particular dish, I would recommend using a Tuscan oil or an oil from Umbria because it's very rich and full flavored. Okay. So we're going to add the bay leaves first, together with a little bit of the garlic. What you want to do here is you want to really make sure that the amount of garlic that you're using is enough, because garlic is very good with this, but you need to make sure, and a little bit of chili, but you need to make sure absolutely that you do not overcook the garlic. So one of the techniques that I employ is I chop it very, very fine, and I go on and off the heat until they become translucent or transparent, but not brown. You definitely do not want to brown the garlic. There are some dishes in the Italian cuisine that you do, but this is definitely not one of them. Okay. Just a little bit of wine, not a lot, huh? We're going to use this covered. Now you have to be real careful here because you have alcohol. What I want to do is I want to help them steam open, but you can see that it's already caught on fire. So whenever you do this, you remove it from the heat and you open away from you, okay? So you don't get the flame that comes right up in your face.
A toasted crouton is served with the mussels.
And we rub it with a little bit of garlic on either side to give it a nice flavor. And then we just give it a slight drizzle of oil. Okay? Okay, now once again, we're gonna take these off, but we're gonna do it away from the fire, and we're gonna do it this way so we get a good look. So you can see that most of them are now steamed open, not all yet. So we're gonna make sure that they're cooked. I'm using a Washington mussel. It's a new mussel that has just come on the market. It was discovered by chance. It is the species equivalent to the Mediterranean mussel, and it's farmed in the Puget Sound out of Tacoma, Washington. And I think that they're the best mussel on the market right now. Okay, as you can see, they're all steamed open now.
The mussels are removed from the broth and shelled.
So you always want to check and make sure that there's no beard on the inside. This little beard that is what it helps it attach. Okay, and you can see these are beautiful, nice plump mussels. They're also nice and hot mussels. And if your hands are a little bit more sensitive, you can easily take a nice 5-minute break, have a glass of wine until these are a little bit more cooled off. Unfortunately, at Spiaggia, I don't have that luxury, so we get the thrill of doing this all the time while they're screaming hot. So now we're going to save one of these shells as a garnish because we want to make sure that the customers understand the quality of what we use and the fact that we cook them to order for them. We're going to add some chopped diced tomato, the white beans, the cannellini.
The beans have been pre-cooked in salted water.
Okay. Just a small amount of butter. And some parsley. Well, the only thing you really have to be careful of at this point is that you've allowed all the acidity or that raw flavor that the wine may have to have evaporated, and I just gave it the taste test and it's fine. Bring that back to a boil. Okay, so now we're going to plate our guazzetto, which is our little puddle of mussels and white beans. Bit of the olive oil on top. Okay. I'm gonna give it one.
The Empress of China in Houston was opened in 1985 by chef owner Scott Chen. He began his career at the Taipei Hilton, then worked in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York. His dishes are known not only for cross-ethnic touches, but great presentation, like this entree, called beef à la Scott. The chef begins by cutting fairly thick strips of the beef.
Most important thing is beef and chicken. They will be absorb the water into the meat. That's the secret of the cooking. So we add a little bit water, little bit white pepper, salt, marinated.
The beef rests and will absorb the water.
Keep about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Then you see the water will be gone. It's absorbed in the beef. After that, you add a little bit egg white.
Cornstarch is added. After the strips are thoroughly coated, they are removed to a dry pan and cracker meal is added.
Move the beef, dry. This is quicker meal.
After coating, the beef is set aside and the sauce is started.
Ginger, garlic, onion, green onion, chili paste. Depend how spicy you want to. Bean paste this is the double black soy sauce is very low salt but coloring. This is the Maggi soy sauce. This is very, very highest product for the soy sauce. It's not anything either like the MSG something in here, but so sweet, so good. And we ate the chicken consomme.
Maji, dark soy, bean paste, and chili paste can be obtained at Oriental markets.
This cornstarch. Add the inside the cornstarch. Mix well together. Make it easy to cook.
This is a slurry of cornstarch and water. Meanwhile, the beef strips are deep fried in extremely hot oil. They are cooked in 2 to 3 minutes, then drained. Now the final stir fry is started.
Olive oil. Onion. Dry pepper. Sugar. Wine.
This is rice wine.
Slowly with sauce. Top with basil flour.
Rhonda Ruckman began her career in Baton Rouge, then Marco Island, Florida. A lucky move since it resulted in her going to the Ritz-Carlton, Naples. In 1998, the hotel won an Ivy Award from Restaurants and Institutions. From the excellent pastry operation, here is savarain with citrus confit.
We have a bunch of beautiful citrus this season. Meyer lemons, lime quats, kumquats, clementines, and mandarin oranges.
The savarain is started by melting butter and chocolate over a double boiler.
This chocolate savarin recipe is much like a flourless chocolate cake. It can be used in different molds than the one we're going to use today. Almost like a souffle. Okay. This needs to cool off for just a minute.
Egg whites sweetened with sugar are whipped to the stiff peak stage.
Okay, to assemble the batter, we're going to take our chocolate and butter and add some egg yolks that are a little warm, not very cold. Make an emulsion between the chocolate and the egg yolks, sort of like a ganache. You want the same sort of texture when you're done. So I'll start with a very small amount. The chocolate seizes up just enough to become shiny and elastic in texture.
After all the yolks are incorporated, the beaten egg whites are added.
Clean the sides. Next, I'm going to add the meringue. I'm going to add this very thoroughly. So I'm going to put a little bit in just to lighten the entire mixture. I'll go 2 more steps. I'm going to fold in. I want to incorporate this very well.
The batter is piped into a flexi pan.
Okay, pipe it in. All the way to the top. These are going to be filled. They will be frozen to rock hard, very solid, even overnight if possible. Bake the next day in a 400 Fahrenheit oven for around 6 to 8 minutes, depending on the type of oven you have. For the semi-confit of citrus today, we are going to take some of the nice citrus that we have, the Meyer lemons, the lime quat, the kumquat, and the clementine, and put them into the oven on a silpat with a sugar syrup, an equal ratio of sugar to water. And what I've done here is spice the syrup with cinnamon stick, vanilla bean, star anise, and white pepper.
Clementine is a small, seedless orange.
Once you bring this up to a boil, I'm going to pour it over the citrus. It's okay if the spices run out, that's fine. This is going to go into the oven at a 200-degree temperature, 200 Fahrenheit. Just enough to cover them. Goes into the oven at 200 degrees for about 2 hours. You want to pull them when they're nice and translucent. You can see how the fruit becomes translucent here. I brought these to a semi-confit. Syrup has reduced. Some of these I'm going to reserve for the plate when we plate the dessert at the end. And some of them I'm going to take, and to add a little extra flavor, take them almost to a caramel stage. Plate the dessert. We're going to start with our savarain center. What I've done here with the citrus, as I explained before, is a semi-confit in the oven at 200 degrees for about 2 hours. The citrus is nice and translucent. And here, these went back into the oven, and we're taking a little bit further for a little bit deeper flavor, a little more caramelized flavor. So we'll use both of these when we plate the dessert. Try to get one of each. A little bit of syrup on top. A chocolate sauce.
The dish is served with coffee ice cream.
Our chocolate dentelle.
The presentation includes pieces of chocolate tuile cookies.
Chocolate Savarin, semi-confit of citrus, and coffee ice cream.